Hi, Posse.
Posse, this episode is sponsored once again by our girl Bethan Bonebreak at Country Financial Insurance.
Shout out to a girl's girl, just really out here helping everybody with their insurance because, as we know, these insurance companies are crazy, and so thank God we have people like her.
We need people like Bethan to help us not get scammed. Bethan specifically likes to work with women-owned and LGBTQ businesses and households as a gay woman herself in a male-dominated field. She's trying to break that glass ceiling with you.
We love that. Also, she is here in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Alabama, and she can do all sorts of insurance. I know we mentioned last week that Allison got her camera insured through her, but you can do something really small, or you can do like home, auto, life, all that good stuff.
Yeah, Bethan does it all. And she is really all about educating her clients and making sure they understand what their insurance package and policy entails because she didn't know anything about insurance before she got into the field.
We love her. She's the best.
Thanks, Bethan.
Thank you. All right. How was your weekend? How was your week?
Oh my God, it was so crazy. I have just been doing shit nonstop. I feel like the way you felt last week. I went to a burlesque or a cabaret show for Halloween, which was really fun.
The little video you posted looked great.
Yeah, it was so cool. It really inspired me to want to take like a heels class.
Oh.
So I signed up for one.
Does your pole studio offer one?
No, it's different than pole because it's much more like choreography based. Like a lot of the pole choreography classes are much more about like improvising and kind of like you learn moves, but you also learn to kind of like just feel yourself and feel your body and do what feels right. But these heels classes are much more like, they're more like traditional dance classes. And I'm just really excited to take one because I saw those girlies up there dancing and I was like, I want to do that. So I'm signed up. I got to find some heels that I'm not going to break my ankles in.
Is it the same kind of heels that you wear for pole, or are they different?
No, they're not pleasers.
Okay.
I think pleasers probably makes shoes that are for heels classes, but they're not like the big platform shoes.
Okay.
They're more like, you know, the Mojo Jojo booties of the early 2000s.
I love.
They're like that type of shoe.
When do you start?
It's not this coming week, but the following week.
Okay. I can't wait to see photos and videos.
I'll keep you posted. I don't know that I'll post a video for my first class.
You don't think so?
No, because I'll probably look like shit. And I'll be like, I can't post this. I need to go a few times so that I can feel confident enough to post.
But you've done like dance before.
Yeah.
So you won't be starting from like square, you know?
No. I mean, like the foundation's there, but it's a whole new genre that I'm going to be trying.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. We also threw Hannah's baby shower at the studio, and you guys, it was a great place to throw a baby shower. Also, highly recommend doing something other than opening fucking gifts at your baby shower. We didn't open any presents.
Thank God.
And it was so much more fun. Like every single person came up to me and was like, this is the best baby shower I've ever been to. Because they weren't just sitting there watching someone open gifts for 2 hours.
It is so boring.
It's so boring. And it's like, for what? Who are we doing this for? The mom is always exhausted by the end.
Yeah.
You know, like we did a dip contest. So people brought their own dips and their own accompaniments to go with the dip.
That's fun.
And that was a big hit. People loved it. And like some people really showed out with their dip recipes.
What dip won?
A spicy feta dip won.
Yum.
And then a spicy labna dip was like the other winner. And then
Can
we
you get
had
recipes?
Yes, I'll get some recipes.
Okay.
They actually were both made by people who have done shoots at Naked Peach. So, you know, the posse makes good dip. And then there was like a third winner, and it was a spinach artichoke dip in a bread bowl.
Everything is better in a bread bowl.
Period.
Any soup in a bread bowl, immediately yes.
Yeah. Okay, other activities we did. We had a posing recreation challenge for Hannah's maternity shoot. So I put one of her pictures from her shoot up on the TV in the studio and then challenged the attendees to recreate the pose. And it was only the guys who did it. And it was so funny. They were so bad at it. And it was just like really entertaining for everyone to watch. So yeah, it was a good time. I definitely would recommend for anybody planning a baby shower to like switch it up a little bit and just make it more fun, because not only will you enjoy it more, but the parents will enjoy it more too. So yeah. How about you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I went to Seattle for my nephew's birthday, which was so fun. He turned 6, so, you can't, like, not have fun at a 6-year-old birthday party.
Is really?
Yeah, because they're just so excited, It's, like, I feel like that's, like, the golden age of birthdays where it's, like, when you're under 10, where it's, like, everything is, like, so fun,
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's just, like, really cute. And, like, everyone wore their costumes and...
I've never been to a 6-year-old's birthday party, so that's why I'm skeptical.
But, like, any child under 10, like, you've been to... Right? No?
I've been to, like, a 1-year-old's birthday. That's the only little kid birthday I've been to.
I think,
is that weird?
No, I don't think that's weird. I think that, like, kids' parties, when they're older, they know it's their birthday, they're, like, excited about things. Like, it's more fun because you're, like, seeing the excitement through their eyes, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say, like, 1-year-old birthday parties are fun.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, again, it's like a baby shower.
Yeah.
It's like their parents are just opening presents. You're like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Like, we had, like, the birthday party at the house, and that, everyone, like, came, we're, like, eating, hanging out, and then we went to, like, a trampoline park.
Okay.
So, like...
That's cute.
Fun. But we stayed at my sister's house, and we were staying in my niece's room, and my niece's room has a twin bed, and then it has a, like, little pull-out couch, like, little, like, very little. I'm like, this is not a normal standard-sized futon. Think of, like, a futon in a toddler's room, like
okay.
Me laying on it, like, it cuts off at, like, my calf, basically. So, okay, so... that's the room we slept in, and night 1, we like, left Portland late, like, when it was, like, Sophia's bedtime, got there, and so by the time we get there, it's, like, 10-ish p.m., and she kind of, like, wakes up during that time, doesn't want to go to bed right away. It was, like, harder to get her to bed. I just ended up, like, sleeping with her, which, like, we don't typically do because she sleeps on her own, and also when she sleeps with us, she's, like, too excited. She's like, oh, hi, like, it's, like, middle of the night. She's like, hi, and I'm like, no, go to sleep. So it was this process, but basically I slept on that futon with her and had her, like, kicking me all night, and then Gavin was on the twin bed, and the next night she slept in her pack and play crib, and Gavin and I together slept on the twin bed.
Oh God.
And when I woke up that morning, which, by the way, so I, like, lost my voice. I think I'm, like, have this lingering, I don't know what's going on, but I woke up that morning and I was like, I am in my 30s. Like, I cannot be sleeping like this. I used to go to parties and I could sleep on a floor with a pillow and one blanket on the ground, wake up, totally fine. Doesn't feel anything. My body is wrecked from my 2 nights of sleep.
I believe it. Yeah. It is really weird. I mean, I remember being young and, like, sleeping on a trampoline when I was 16 and waking up and going straight to work and being fine. And now it's like my pillow is a little bit moved too much to the side and my neck is sore for 3 days. It's like, you can't fuck around with that stuff.
No, it was scary. Also, just, like, me and Gavin on a twin bed together. Like,
I can't even imagine.
No. It's really sweet, but he, like, if we're together and, like, he does not want to sleep separate. It doesn't matter what the configuration will be, but, like, he would be like, no, like, we need to sleep together. Like, we need to be in the same bed. So... twin bed together. Wow. Yeah. I
mean, were his entire bottom half of his body just hanging off the bed?
Yes. I mean, me night 1 on the futon, I felt like Will Ferrell in Elf when he's like, his legs are off the bed all night. I'm like, this is what Gavin must be like every time that he's in bed that's not our bed at home. Like,
so how's your body feeling today? Can you, like, move your neck?
Yeah. Today I'm okay, but Saturday and Sunday were a little rough, and then Sunday it's like I was feeling like that, and then we had to, make the 2.5-hour drive home. So, like, sitting in the car, it just, like, wasn't the best.
It's a lot on your body.
It's a lot on my body, but, I've recovered. I got up and did a workout this morning, which I feel like really helped just, like, stretch things out.
Yeah, you gotta, like, get the blood flowing.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on being in your 30s.
Thanks. All right, should we bring our guest on?
Yes, I think we should.
Okay. Posse, we have a very exciting guest today. I have been telling multiple friends about who's coming on, and everybody has been so excited. This is a repeat guest. So Lauren is back. If everyone remembers her episode, it was from last December. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen. It's the one that's called Open Marriages, Being Vanilla, and Glory Holes.
I think perhaps our most listened to episode of all time.
Most listened to episode of all time. It was our very first guest that ever came on the podcast, and it was iconic.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, it changed lives. It opened minds. Like, we all learned so much, and we cannot wait for this update.
God. Yeah, it's
pressure.
A year later.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm really happy to be back, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back.
As an avid listener, I really enjoy keeping up with your lives. So I guess I have a lot to tell you about my life. So go ahead and ask me whatever you want and I'll tell you.
Yeah. So, okay. So, where I'm thinking is like, it's been almost a year now since the last episode. And in the last episode, we kind of ended things where you were saying you guys were like starting to try some of these new things.
Right.
And you were like, I don't really know how this is going to go. Like, we're
Right.
really fresh into this. And now I'm
Right.
like, it's been a year. Like, how did it go? What happened? What have you tried? What have you stayed away from? I need all the updates.
I can tell you 1,000%, as you would say, I have not gone back to the glory holes. That is not in my wheelhouse. I will not do that. I mean, again, you know, there's a lot of people that like it. I mean, my husband still thinks it's cool. I just am, no thank you. But I mean, it's a different dynamic for me because I'm the woman. I'm a minority in there. And I just, no, I don't like that. But, so to answer your question, yes, we have had couples. That has been, it's like worse than dating, like as a single person, one person. I think it's personally worse just because, you know, you still have to go through this like vetting process and like, you know.
Wait, with couples? Is this like foursome stuff or is this like swapping partners?
Well, I mean, it's just whatever. It's whatever is whatever,
Okay.
right? So we, yes, we kept it open. We didn't know what we were looking for. We just thought, you know, okay, couples. We didn't know if we'd want to be same room. I should say I didn't know if I wanted to be same room. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if I wanted to be solo. I didn't know how I was going to react. I already know how he reacts because we had threesomes together. And sometimes he participated, sometimes he didn't. So I knew he was going to be okay with seeing me with someone else.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how I was going to be. Like if I thought about it or we talked about it, like, you know, doing dirty talk or whatever before sex, like I'd be like, yeah, that sounds really hot. And then like the situation would come about and I'd be like, ooh, I don't know. But usually what we did to like find people or to meet up with people is we decided, okay, we'll just meet them for drinks or coffee. Sometimes I would meet the male or the female by myself. Just to kind of get a vibe because I am more particular, I think. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so.
I mean, I would want to do that. Like, I would want to meet them and like vet them and everything.
Yeah. So, we had a new site, cause I have not, well, FetLife was, anyway, I'll talk more about that in a minute, but, I found a new site called Cassidy. I don't remember how I heard about it. I think I just saw a pop-up on something.
We haven't heard of this one yet.
No.
Cassidy? So Cassidy is very archaic in the way that it works, where it's like this old email format. And you like send these emails back and forth and there's like this flirting that you can do. Like if you flirt with someone or like you can't see their photos unless they let you. So it's a little bit like Field, but I found that one because you could put just couples and that's all you would get. Like I never really got anyone that wasn't a couple. And most of the time it would be both people on the app together talking. And they're like, oh, this is so-and-so. And they both would answer me. My husband let me do all that stuff because I had more time, I guess. I don't know. More standards. I have no idea. So, I mean, we would meet people and then just... and I would leave there and I would be like, hard no. Absolute hard no. Not going to do it. Or he'd say, oh, hard no, not going to do it.
Yeah.
So it was like there's so much of the dating process that you don't like as a single person. Yeah, you've got 4 people that you're working with now.
And everybody has to get on the same page.
Everybody has to get on the same page.
Wait, did you ever have instances where you guys left and both of you guys were like, absolutely not, this isn't deal breaker, but those people were trying to like hit you guys? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, every single time. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it sounds like I'm totally bragging, but no, I mean, we're normal as far as like how we act and like, you know, we're professionals and we have, you know, we can have educated conversations. Like I said in the last one, I'm like, I want to be able to have a conversation with you. And we could always tell that if the conversation started out with like, you know, so do you guys like this? Or what do you like to do? You know, we both were just kind of like, okay, whoa. Because when we'd have conversations like that with people, it would then they're constantly texting us, texting. I'm like, oh, like it totally turns me off. That was like that when I was single too. I'm like, don't be thirsty. Like, calm down. I can't do this all the time, you know? So, I mean, it was difficult with that process, and it's still difficult. We've kind of like stepped back a little bit for other reasons I'll get into, but just the process of dating sucks. And I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. But we've had some experiences that were, none of them were stellar. I hate to even say that. Like, I'm like, oop, no, you know, whether it was the guy couldn't perform or the girl did something weird. I mean, we'd come out of these situations and I'd be like, ugh, this is so much work. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if somebody has advice even to me, like how to like find a couple that doesn't have baggage, I mean, we all have baggage, I guess. So that's going to be difficult, but just finding these people that weren't, you know, super perverted or super thirsty or just super over the top.
What do you, okay, when you say super perverted, what were you coming across that was giving you that vibe?
I mean, well, I got red flags because this happened to me twice. I got red flags when the guy would just keep like saying, you know, oh, so we've met now. So, you know, let me see you, you know, masturbating. Let me see you, like, just like always wanting me, oh, you know, hey, and I don't send those videos to like, I'm like, dude, I barely know you. Like, I'm not gonna, I don't know. I sound like a freaking prude when I'm no. It's just like, how can you be prudish and have an open relationship and have sex with like, how can you do that, right?
Well, that sounds weird to me because it's like, I guess it seems like if you're meeting, it's like you're starting to develop this like other relationship now where you're gonna be exploring something together as like the four people, and so to be off the bat with just like, oh, like send me videos, send me nudes, and it's just like, that's not what this is about. Like, this is different than like just getting on OnlyFans and being like, I'm gonna pay for some like content because I want to see X thing, you know?
Right. And I just never knew, like, maybe I'm untrustworthy, but I never knew what they were gonna do with that video. It's out there then, because then all of a sudden this one particular guy was like sending me all these videos of his wife fucking these other guys, and I'm like, well, that's great for you. And then I started asking him, like, because I hadn't met his wife yet. I'd only met him. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're asking me for all this stuff. And, like, I'm like, wait, what's going on? And so then I kind of found out that I don't even know if he has a wife. I don't know if, like, the wife even knew that he was, like, pursuing something outside of, which, I mean, they're in an open relationship, I'm assuming, because he's watching her fuck other guys. But, like, wait, was that even his wife? Like, there's a lot of dishonesty and just...
And, like, did she know her videos are being sent out to other people?
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Really I'm shady. Like, okay, I'm glad I didn't send you anything because, you know... And he was getting, like, really explicit, and it's just, like, I don't know. Like, there's dirty talk, and then there's just, like, you know, oh, I want to watch you put a butt plug in your ass and see you get off on it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like... I mean, I'm not opposed, but I'm not going to send you a video of it.
Yeah.
No. Anyway.
Did you guys ever try going to, like, the sex clubs and, like, meeting other couples there?
Okay, that's, like, the problem with, like, because we always go to the main Pravada, right? And we like it. The problem is, and we've had sex with other people there.
Yeah.
You go off in your own separate rooms or whatever, but that was a bad experience for me. The guy, like, could not get it up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was like, oh, no, this started off so good. Anyways, it's noisy. It's really loud. Like, the music is loud. And I think I told you guys before, like, there's this buzzing sound of people in the background that you hear. And I guess maybe I'm too ADHD and I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not ideal to, like, have sex at those sex clubs because it's just there's too much going on and I'm too easily overstimulated or something. Yeah. But I mean, I think they're fun, but you have to go with like other couples and meet those other couples there, rather than just the two of you being there, because people just are in their little cliques and they don't. And I've heard that from other couples that we've talked to that we're just like, we haven't done anything with, that are also in open relationships. I mean, they all talk about how it's a very clique-oriented type club.
So you're not necessarily going to like discover new people at the club.
I mean, that's what we had hoped for.
Yeah.
You know, we'd like say, hey, hey, how's it going? Or smile at people when they're walking by, and they literally are just like, oh, no, don't look at me. I mean, it's weird.
It is weird.
I'm like,
That sounds very Portland, though.
I know.
Yeah.
But I looked at my husband and I'm just like, I mean, like, what is wrong with us? Like, why is nobody? But then we looked around and you can kind of see that. You see a group comes in together and they stay together the entire time. And they're not even having sex with other people. They're just like watching other people around. And
that's so interesting.
It is
Because
interesting.
I think like you're going to a place like this, you're going to meet other people.
And
Partially, you know, like
it's not like a typical nightclub. Like you would do that in a nightclub.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah.
go and like be like, hey, let me buy you a drink. Nope.
Interesting.
I've never had that experience. It's really weird. We've probably been, guys, we haven't been a ton of times because, I don't know, less than 10. But
okay.
yeah, just, but I mean, it's fun to go dance. I mean, they play great music. I like the drinks. The bartenders are pretty cool. I mean, but it's just, I don't know.
I think you guys need to move to Utah because they have a really big swinger community in Utah, and
Yeah, or going on vacation to
Yeah.
Utah or something.
Well, my mother-in-law has a place down there.
oh,
Yeah.
you should go.
Well,
Yeah.
there was I think I told you guys about it in the last podcast. There was somebody from Utah that I was talking to from Field that like he pinged, or we pinged each other or something, whatever you call it. I can't think of the name of it now, but it showed that he was in my area, but then it was only because he was in that area that he showed up on my Field feed. But yeah, we talked for a little bit, but it was, I can't believe how many couples we've met that are in their late to mid 40s and up that have opened their relationship. It is like very normal now, I feel like.
That is so interesting.
yeah.
I
Wow.
also think it's like in my mind, I also think it could be even like a last ditch effort for couples too.
Totally.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of like what I did. Like I did it to, change the dynamic of our relationship. Because he was telling me something had to change. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, for me, I've been asked this by friends that know about it. They're like, well, do you feel like you were, giving in more than he was? And I mean, at a time I did, because like, it's so out of my comfort zone. And it was just like, obviously before, and our marriage was totally vanilla, but I just felt like I gave a lot more than he did, as far as like being out of my comfort zone and like doing things. But I think as women, we do that. Like women,
Totally.
I feel like
Yeah.
give so much more. But at any rate, I mean, I found that I don't want to do that for other men though.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, oh no, I can't. I'm sorry. You want me to do what? Nope, I'm not going to do it. But
It's
That
so much
makes
work
sense.
doing it for one man already.
Well,
I agree.
and I feel like it's like to do that or to want to do that for a man. It's because you have that relationship and you've built that trust and you've
Yeah.
worked on all these things, and so you're
Right.
like, okay, like I do want to do this for you. I want to try this for you. Versus a rando,
Yeah.
you're like, no, I'm not going to send you that video.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah.
right.
Get out of here.
You
Yeah.
haven't earned it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's true. Like, my body is mine. You hear that statement a lot, but like, that's like a gift I'm giving you. That's also a gift that my husband is allowing me to give you. Like, it sounds bad to say allow, but like, he's a willing participant in this thing too. It's not just me having sex with this guy. It's like my husband's okay with it. Same thing for me. Like, I discovered a lot of things about myself, as far as like, it's interesting if I didn't feel threatened by the woman. If she wasn't like super hot, like freaking badass body, like I felt like I was okay with everything that was happening. But if she's like super hot, I'm like, nope, we can't have a foursome with them. We can't have solo play with them because I was like too insecure.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, which, I mean, we can segue into that later. But I did find out though that like can't do same room. I thought maybe I'd want to see, but I do not, because I don't even like when my husband is done having sex with this woman. I do not want to see, like, I literally thought I was going to punch this woman in the face because she just had my husband for however long she had him.
Yeah.
And then is like hanging all over him. Now, in her defense, she was drunk. We were at the club. She was drunk. But I was like, bitch, get off my man. Like, seriously. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
No, I
it's-
think
I
I'd freak
let
out.
you,
I would
Yeah.
I
freak
let
out.
you have him. Now, I am trying to, like, snuggle up to my man. I don't want to snuggle up to your man, which is interesting because my husband later said, oh, I get off on seeing you, like, do that with a guy.
Oh,
Like, you know,
interesting.
if I were to make out
So
with him or, like,
interesting.
hang on him. Yeah, I said, I'm not there yet. Maybe
You're
I
having
never
the
will be.
opposite reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I never will be. But I was just like, ooh, my little, I said, I have a headache. Time to go. I literally was like, we're done. Because they're like, oh, yeah, let's all go. I go, nope, I'm ready. Let's go.
Well,
I was so
also,
pissed.
I feel like that feels more intimate than sex.
Yes.
Like snuggling and
I
cuddling.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And my husband's just like, oh, what's the big deal? Like, to him, any of that is like, because we had this conversation of like, he's like, you know, sex is just sex. And I'm like, sex is not just sex. Like, it's not. Like, maybe for a guy it is, but like, I don't know. I even think for guys, like, if they care about the woman, maybe it's not. But he's saying in his general term that like, sex with another woman is just sex. There's no emotional attachment. He doesn't care if it's a one-off. He doesn't care if it's maybe once or twice, but he doesn't want to have any kind of connection to him at all. And we had this discussion, which I told you about my friends with benefits that I had.
Yeah.
I still talk to him, but we had to take a break for about 6 weeks because my husband started to realize that he was jealous. And my husband has never been jealous. And I'm like, wait, what? You're jealous? And he's like, well, what started it was I said, oh, because my husband doesn't like to go hiking. Like, he doesn't care about that. Like, he's not into it. And I am. And my friends with benefits is into like going out in nature and going hiking too. And I said, oh, I'm going to go hiking with, you know, my friend. And he's like, no, I have a problem with that. So, I mean, it's just been an interesting journey to see like what actually, because he just was feeling like I was getting too attached to him. And it's not that at all. Like, it's weird for me to talk to someone all the time like I do a good friend of mine. And that's something that I'd realized is I was like, he's actually my friend. Like, I consider him a close friend. Like, he would do, if I needed something, he would be, you know, my ride or die. He'd help me bury a body kind of thing, right? But I have absolutely no like romantic feelings for him. And I've always thought that was really weird because I've always kind of tried to take a step back and think, okay, you know, how do I really feel about this person? Is this someone that could come in between my husband and I? And I'm like, no, he's got, you know, too many things that I wouldn't even want to begin to deal with. But I have a great time with him. We have great sex. But that's it. And I had to really like have a lot of conversations with my husband over the course of a 6-week period to, you know, to get us back to a place where we were all right. I think that also made me realize that because there was a time when I had told him that I didn't think I wanted him to be with other women if they weren't in a married relationship, like as the foursome, just again, because of I started to develop an insecurity, which I probably should segue into that.
Yeah.
So it was after the last podcast. I don't remember exactly what, I was looking at something on Google and I was like, I just got this weird, you know, women have intuition and I've always had really good intuition, especially about people that I'm really attached to or care about. And I just did kind of like a Google history and I saw that my husband had this extra phone number. And I was like, oh.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's had that phone number for a while. He had that when he was like, you know, anybody that he would like go out with or do things with, he would always have a different phone number. So, I mean, I did know about it, but I told him I wanted him to get rid of it.
Okay.
He did not. And I was like, huh. All right. So we had this whole big argument about, you know, keeping things and lying. And I was telling him, I'm like, look, like we need to have, if we're going to have this whole relationship thing work out, like you can't lie to me. Like, why do you have this phone number? I mean, he has a very professional job. He doesn't want to give out his personal phone number. I mean, I get it. But if I ask him not to have it, he shouldn't have it. And so we kind of had this like play of like power play. And then because we had also been talking about, I was like, I'm not really into like FetLife or whatever. It seems a little not my wheelhouse again. And then he was like, one time he had asked me, hey, do you still go on FetLife? And I was like, no, why do you ask? Whatever. Well, all of a sudden I'm laying there. He's like, oh, I don't know. I was just curious if you like still talk to people on FetLife. And I'm like, why is this? So why is my husband asking me this? Like, I'm, again, like, my little back of my hairs on my neck are standing up, and I'm like, why is he asking me about FetLife?
Yeah.
He's sleeping. I get on my phone, and I'm like, and I've never really been the type of person to be like that. Mm-hmm. I never felt like I didn't ever trust him. I never felt like I had any reason to not trust him. And I go on there, and on FetLife, it shows you who you're friends with, and it shows if your friends have become friends with someone or if they have these friends. And there's my husband's face on FetLife. And I was like, oh, God.
And you didn't know that he was using it? Okay.
No. I mean, he had said he'd been on FetLife, but he's like, oh, I don't go on it.
Yeah.
Totally playing it down, right? And maybe he hadn't at the time I had asked him. This was like months and months before. But I go on there and I see the activity that he's involved in. And his kink is how he said he liked to go to the glory hole and he liked to watch in the theaters. What I didn't realize is that he was the one that was choreographing these situations. And he was getting the women and taking the women to these glory holes, being their assistant or whatever the hell it is, and making sure that, because a lot of times there's women that will want to go to the glory hole because they like it, but they don't want to go by themselves because it's not a safe place to be for a single woman to be, right? And so these guys would go with them. Well, then I'm doing more diving and digging, and like he's going to these like gangbangs, and people pay to go into those, and that's prostitution. Which, I mean, if someone is doing that, fine, but like I don't want my husband paying for that. And then I'm like doing more digging on this FetLife rat hole that I got down into, and he had these like baby girl daddy thing, like that was his fetish, is that he likes to be called daddy and he likes to be the one in charge and he likes to have these gangbangs and be like all these men coming up to him and saying, oh, hey, thank you so much for letting me fuck your little spinner, and whatever the hell else they were degrading these women and calling them. And so I'm just like, even beside the fact that like I knew nothing of this, and that he was lying about doing it.
Yeah.
He says he didn't disclose it, and I'm like, that sounds like
that's lying.
That's
yeah.
lying.
I'm like, okay, whatever.
That's like a lawyer phrase for lying.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. So, but I just got so sick to my stomach because I told you guys before in the other podcast that I had been sexually assaulted, and for me the idea of strangers watching me is like a major trigger. And this is what my husband is doing, is like putting this, and I'm like, a woman that wants to be having sex unprotected with as many men as possible, letting them do whatever they want to them, and then posting about it on FetLife and then making it glamorized, to me was like, this person has been through trauma. Like, this person doesn't realize what they're doing. It's not healthy. And I was like, why are you a part of that? Like, it just freaking blew my mind. And I was like, I don't even know you. I don't know who you are. Like, I just literally went nuts.
Did you know about like the daddy kink and any of that stuff?
I mean, he would kind of like hint a little bit at it, but I guess I was just totally clueless. I didn't even, I remember him making a joke like, someone had said to me, oh yeah, you can call me daddy. And I was like, I'm not going to call you daddy, please. I'm just like, you're not my daddy. That's weird, right?
Yeah.
But I know that like people get into it, and it's not that, it's not even that I'd be opposed to it like with my husband.
Yeah.
But like this strange dude, like you're not my daddy, right?
Yeah.
So he was just like, yeah, you can only have one daddy, and like, oh, that's kind of hot or whatever. And he just made this like offhanded comment. So, I didn't even know that. So then I started thinking, Jesus, like, I don't even really know like what he's been so at that point, I know when I was talking to you guys, I didn't really know any of what he had been doing, you know?
And was this going on while you guys were like going on like dates, like meeting other couples, like doing all that stuff?
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, okay, I'm doing all this stuff that you've asked me to do.
Yep.
And you still
and you're telling me
enough.
that you only want couples. You're not telling me you want to go and do these things.
Yeah.
Well, and at this point, you guys have been so honest with each other about all these things that you're doing and trying. Yeah. And then to find out at that point that like there's still all this stuff that's not even being told to you, where it's like you're like bearing your soul and everything out there to be like, let's like communicate about this, and then actually no. Like,
I felt very betrayed.
Yeah.
So freaking betrayed. And I was like, how can you do this? Like, I mean, I took it so internally. And at that point, and it pisses me off to even say it right now, but I know it's a natural reaction. But I became a fucking jealous wife. Like, I literally was like asking him everywhere he was going, what he was doing. And it just started to eat me alive. And I'm like, I finally just said, you know what? Fuck it. You know, I said to him, I can't do this. Either you're going to be honest with me, or we have to like take a break, like be separated or whatever. Because I said, not only is it hard for me, but I was attacking him all the time. Like, he can't like get better or whatever. Because we had this big long discussion, and I pointed out to him that I was like, you know, why? Because not only that, all that shit happening by me acting like this, like, we stopped having sex. Not because I didn't want to, because, I mean, to me, I've always been able to, like, put any stressor aside. I know some women can't, but I can put that aside because I want to be intimate and connected to my husband.
Yeah.
And we had stopped doing that. And then it got to where, because he had issues before with, like, his testosterone and stuff and not having the drive. Well, let's add an emotional thing into it, too. And he couldn't do it. Like, physically could not get erect for me. But he could for other women. Oh, yeah, people say they want to be your friend, and then they really don't. And because she said one time they had gone and they were going to go and hang out, and all of a sudden it just, like, they were in a hotel room just hanging out having drinks. Well, I mean, maybe that was their first mistake, going into a hotel room.
Yeah.
Like,
it's different than being in the hotel bar.
Yeah. They, like, turned on the lights and did all this stuff, and they were just like, whoa, I thought we were just going to be friends. And then they wouldn't talk to him anymore. But, I mean, I guess we're kind of like that, is if somebody starts getting too, like I said, thirsty, we're just both like, So, I mean, this new couple, I mean, I have reserved hopes that, like, we could actually be friends with them. And I feel like the way she is so attached to her husband, I would be okay with my husband being with her.
Okay. Because, like, the two of them have a really solid relationship. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be with him.
Okay.
We haven't done anything with them. We've only gone out, you know, for drinks. But I don't know. Maybe my standards are high. I have no idea. But he's okay with her just playing with a guy. Like, she has her own little friend with benefits that she kind of hangs out with. So I feel like that might be an okay situation.
Okay, my question for you. This is like so... I feel like you guys have been through so much.
Oh my God. There's probably even more too that I just didn't even go over.
I'm sure. Like, because how can you summarize a whole year in 5 minutes, you know? But you guys have been through so much, and there's been a lot of, like, obviously growth, but also a lot of pain. But you said you don't think you could ever go back to not having an open relationship. So with all this, like, pain that it's caused, what makes it, like, worth it to keep the relationship open, you know?
Well, to be perfectly honest, because I know neither my friend with benefits or my husband will hear this podcast, at least I hope they don't. Well, I mean, I think even if my husband heard it, he'd probably be fine, because I think I've told him. I don't want to stop having sex with my friend with benefits.
Okay.
Like, it's so uncomplicated. It's so, like, I mean, I see him, I'm like, hey, let's have sex. Like, it's really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I do, like, talk to him on text or whatever, and he's a friend. But, like, I don't want to lose that. If I have a totally closed relationship, I will have to cut off any ties with him.
Yeah.
And selfishly, like, I don't want to do that. It would be like losing one of my good friends. And I mean, I don't know. I think about, like, would I have a problem if my husband had someone like that? And I mean, as long as the woman felt the way I do and didn't try to get, like, the feels and all that, then I'd be okay with that. Because at least then it's like a mutual respect for each other, for your other spouse. like my friend with benefits is always like saying, hey, you know, your husband's okay with this or whatever. And you know, this was before I had to kind of cut it off. And I just remember us both saying, oh, this is really sad. We can't talk anymore. Like one of our last conversations. But I mean, we are able to talk now. We've kind of gone through that, but so I think for me personally, I don't think I could. My husband actually said that for him, it's to keep excitement in his life and to keep like, just like being with someone new is always kind of fun and exciting. But then I asked him, I was like, okay, well, so what is it about our relationship that isn't exciting enough for you? Like, I need you to look at it like that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I mean, I can see his side. I know exactly what he's saying because I already have that, but I want to make sure that he's in the right place of my wife is my priority. I don't want to not have sex with my wife, you know, but like meeting up with someone else just for some like crazy little rendezvous is like fun and exciting. I mean, that's what I'm hoping, you know, we get out of this, but yeah, I don't think I could, just because it's like the Pandora's box has been opened, and you know, now I can't put away what I know how he feels about it, so I can't ever go back. And I know that, like, I mean, I think to myself, like, okay, so what else could possibly happen? Because again, I like to have control of my life, and I want to know, like, what are some things that can happen? And so to me, I feel like this is it. Like, this is the final thing to make sure that, like, I want to spend the rest of my life with this guy, but I mean, I can't have lies. I can't do that anymore. So I mean, that's why we created this contract. And if he breaks the contract, or if I break the contract, then we don't have enough respect for each other, and we should not be together, because all we are toxic for each other. And we both understand that. So I think we should have done this in the beginning. I think we're coming at it with a whole new understanding. And I do think our relationship is a million times better because of it. I mean, I feel like we're back to where we were even like before the kids were even together. Like,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely like talk more and laugh, but I mean, we are also empty nesters now.
Yeah.
We have no children. We can walk around the house naked. We can like totally have PDA in the house and not have anybody going, ew, that's gross, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so I think that and we're like rebuilding on this house and like doing all this stuff together as like a project together. So we have something to do together. And, so I think it's a totally different dynamic, but I mean, I also am a realist too, that like, it would be horrible if this doesn't work out. I mean, I would be absolutely devastated. I don't feel that way now.
Yeah.
I wondered for several months of this year if it was going to, you know, I'm like, if he can't be honest with me. And then, like I said, I started to wonder, like, why can't he be honest with me? Like, what am I doing? 'Cause again, as women, I feel like we give a lot, but we also like, you know, what's wrong with me kind of thing. But I mean, totally. I really tried to look at it like, you know, through his eyes. Like, I'm not trying to be a martyr. I'm not trying to, you know, not hold him accountable for what he did, you know. In fact, you want to know something really even disturbing is, like, at one point, I purposely lied to him, and I knew he'd know.
Did you just want to see how it felt to be the one who lied?
I did. Yeah. Yep. I purposely lied to him because he's like, "Oh, disturbing. Hey, did you see your friends with benefits?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "'Cause you sure seem like you're in a good mood." I'm like, "Nope, sure didn't." You know. And I mean, this went on for hours where I'm just like, "No, I'm a better liar than you."
Just wanted to like have the I get that. You want to have the power of being like, I can lie to you too.
Yeah. And so he just finally said, he goes, "You know, you've made me suffer enough. Why don't you just be honest with me?" And I said, "You're right." I go, "How does it fucking feel? How does it feel to have someone lie to you when you know they're lying to your face? It doesn't feel very good, does it?" And he's like, "Nope. We have to be honest with each other." And I said, "Exactly."
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's in the contract?
I can.
Okay.
I can read it to you, but I'll probably do a summary. But
do a summary.
Yeah.
Wait, so to clarify, when you guys first opened it, you didn't set any kind of ground rules?
I mean, we tried to.
Okay.
I thought we did.
But, like, nothing was written down. Nothing
Yeah.
was, like...
No, I mean,
Okay.
in the beginning, like, I thought that he just wanted me to have sex with guys.
Yeah.
And, like, and watch. Well, then it was he wanted me to go to the glory hole and, like, you know, have sex with a big group of guys. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
like, individually, yeah. But again, it was, like, guys I knew. He always had this, like, thing where it didn't matter that he doesn't know the person. Like, that's what he wanted it to be, is that I just was having sex with random strangers. He thought that was hot. And I'm like, that's dangerous. I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. You know, I mean, I don't know. So, yeah. Anyways, my contract. So, I put it's subject to change and evolve based on need of either party at any time. Both parties agree to this contract as it is written at the current time, and no one can make changes or assumptions or additions at any time until both are in complete agreement. No gray area. The first thing I had said was, you don't have to necessarily tell your partner exactly where you are, but you at least need to say, hey, I'm going to be late. Because, like, he would just leave and I wouldn't have any idea where he was. And even if he was with a friend, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you just need to text more. And that just became a weird habit for him. Not even, like, intentionally trying to be secretive. Like, he would go and hang out with his friends, and I'd finally call because I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm hanging out with so-and-so. And they'd be like, oh, hey, so-and-so, whatever. And I'm just like, text, you know?
Yeah.
Just so I know you're not dead, right?
Yeah.
Because that puts my anxiety at ease, right?
Yeah.
Do not lie about your friend with benefits or side piece. Do not lie about why you see them. Because he was really concerned that I was lying about why I was seeing my friend with benefits. He thought I was seeing him to replace him. And I think that's why he got insecure or whatever about it. I wasn't, but I thought I should put that in there. Wear a condom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Important.
That was something that happened with a couple we were with. The guy that I was with, he totally tried to, like, slip it in with no condom, and I go, no. And he's like, oh, we're clean, though. I'm like, I'm sorry, asshole. I do not know you that well. Like,
Yeah.
put on a fucking condom.
Yeah.
I'm clean. I do not take anybody's word for it. Maybe I'm just mistrusting.
No, you should be mistrusting.
Yeah.
Do not
Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Right.
Better
Well,
safe than sorry.
Well, guess
Yeah.
what? It doesn't fucking matter because, the moment got away from them and she fucking hops on my husband's dick with no fucking condom. And I'm like, I'm sorry? What?
Oh my god.
And he's like, well, I mean, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, whatever. And I go, has this happened before? And he's like, no, I'm really careful. And I go, guess what? I don't believe you.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, of course, like, I wait 2 weeks, I go get tested. Luckily, there's nothing wrong. But still, I'm just like, and we get tested all the time. That's
Yeah.
another thing on here.
Yeah.
Get multiple tests.
Yeah.
Smart.
If you are ever going to be bareback, I want to see her tests. I want to know that she's clean, and I want to know she's not with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's unfair to ask. We did have a thing where it's like, if we ever feel insecure about the situation, we ask to meet the other person.
Okay.
Ask to meet the friend with benefits. Because I am flat out going to be like, I don't want you going with a hoe. Like, somebody who fucks around with a lot of guys, or for my husband. So I say on here, don't be a hoe. Don't fuck multiple people. Like, you know, we
Like
can
one
have
at a time.
No. Oh, no, he could have threesomes or whatever
Okay.
if that's what he's going to do. No, I'm saying like, no more than 3 people, no friends with benefits more than 3 people. That includes our couples group.
Okay.
Like, you can have a couple couples and then maybe one little side piece. That's enough. Like, otherwise you're getting too many dynamics in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Too many people. Like, I'm having sex with all these people because you're having sex with all those people. Like, I just...
Yeah.
And I don't know how I'm going to enforce that, but, like, we
Yeah.
got that in the contract.
No, I never really thought about the factor. It's like, yeah, if both people are open, then it's like, it's not just like what you're doing with like getting tested. It's like what the other
What they're
person's
doing.
doing and like the
Yeah.
network of who is doing. And then if those other people are also having sex with other people too,
Right.
it's like there's so many points where disease can
Yep.
just spread.
Yep. And I mean, I've asked to see my people that I've been with. I've asked to see their test, and they're fine with giving it to me. They don't just say, "Oh, I'm clean." I'm sorry. anyway.
If you
stupid.
ask to see a test and someone is weird about it, that is a red flag.
Yeah, that is a red
Absolutely.
flag.
Absolutely. I realize it's in the moment. I probably should have asked ahead of time.
Yeah.
That was a mental note for me to write that down in the contract.
That's smart.
I'm just like, you learn this shit and it's so, oh my gosh, I can't even believe so you have to tell your friends with benefits or your side piece that you're married. And of course, like I said, if they want to meet the spouse or if they're okay with meeting the spouse, then great. I don't think I'm going to necessarily want to meet because then I'll do a comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
And I'm just like,
Has he met your side piece?
No.
Okay.
In fact, that was something that he wanted to do, and I said that's never going to happen. Because now it has gotten weird. Like it's not that like I would be opposed to it, but he's like, the side piece is like, okay, he's going to like look at me like he wants to poke daggers in my eyes. He's just like, I can't do it. Like it's,
Yeah.
He's like, it's weird.
Has he ever seen like a photo of him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's seen photos of him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it won't happen. He wants to meet him, and I go, you just want to flex, like you just.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, you can't. I can't. I don't want to have. It'd be too much stress for me, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also think that if my husband wasn't okay with it, I probably wouldn't be able to see him anymore.
Yeah.
And
Which
that'd be-
I mean, you already did. Like you already ended it at one point.
yeah,
too.
that was not fun. Let's see. No feelings are allowed. A relationship must be if either party gets emotionally. It must be ended if either party gets emotionally involved, like emotionally attached. If at any point the spouse feels threatened, you have to stop all contact until you like revisit the thing, and you have to be open with why you're feeling insecure. No gangbangs unless you're having it with your spouse at the home together with people both parties trust and have met. All are involved. No like random people coming into my house, because we've talked about like having a little house party with people that we've met just to, I don't know, because like we've never been to one, but we've heard that like they can get really weird. I don't know what that means exactly, but do not pay for sex. Which goes back to the gangbang, because a lot of times they'll have them at hotels, and to pay for the hotel they ask for money.
Yeah.
Not that the woman is getting any money at all, which to me again is like, what the hell? She's having fun having sex, but like she doesn't get any of that monetary gain.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't seem right. Anyway, no buying items, no taking care of. Oh, that was another thing. Like he had a couple women that he was like helping them pay their rent and help getting their nails done because he was their daddy. And I was like, oh, hell no. Like, we've been trying to save for a house. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to get us there, which then he realized, okay, you're right. So when he cut off all ties from them, said, yeah, we're done or whatever, like, they didn't reach out to him anymore. I go, that should be a clue to you right there, that they did not give two shits about you. Like, it's not that I want the woman to be in love with him, but I want her to be her own woman and respect him, where she's not going to ask him like, oh, I got to buy my kid diapers or whatever her reasoning might be. Like, he's not your man. He doesn't take care of you. He takes care of me. He takes care of our kids. Like, it'd be fine to get him a birthday card. It'd be fine to take him to lunch. It'd be fine to pay for a hotel to go have sex with him if you don't want to go to Pravada or, one of these other places. But, like, that's it. No gift giving.
Yeah.
Like, I do not do that with my friends with benefits. He doesn't do that for me. Like, we'll go get lunch and, like, we pay each other back the money for if someone bought lunch or whatever. Like, it's not...
Well, and that's like a very specific dynamic, like a sugar daddy situation.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a whole other universe.
I'm like, you can maybe, well, not maybe, I'm like, you could take care of her sexually. Like, if she's not getting what she needs from her husband, or there's something that, like, her husband's not into and you'll do, that's fine. Take care of her that way. Don't be buying her things and giving her money. Make any plans with your friends with benefits without saying, hey, did you have any plans this night? And, like, make sure that that's because that has happened, and that was my fault. Like, my husband's phone died, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with my friends with benefits. And are you okay with it? And he didn't respond, and I was like, oh, well, okay, he must be fine with it. I'm like, you should go get happy hour or whatever, wink, wink, right? He didn't answer, and he got home, and I wasn't there. And, like, you come into this empty house, and, like, he was upset, and because he didn't know where I was, and, like, that was kind of in the beginning of him getting a little bit jealous of the whole situation, right? Well, so, yeah, I mean, I can see that. I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, that's, I didn't mean to do that. It's kind of shitty. I didn't know he goes, at least wait for me to respond, and I didn't. I just was like, oh, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
So my bad. Like, I shouldn't have done that.
But that's why you have it written down now.
Yeah.
That's why I have it written down. Let's see. We said no more than 3 hours max, one time a week with a friend with benefits. That's it. No multiple times a week. No overnight trips. No, like doing stuff that you would do with your wife.
Okay.
You
And
know?
then couples are separate from that. Like if you guys are doing something together, that's separate from the 3
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. We've never spent, like, we've gone like dancing and like like at Pravada and stuff. You go dance or whatever, and you hang out for hours there, or you'll go get a drink, or you'll and then you might go do something. I mean, that's not that doesn't count in that,
Yeah.
because we're both there together. We're both like willing participants in that scenario.
Yeah.
Talk more about fantasies. Talk more about boundaries. Be open to those and to explore them. Do not judge. Do not force your spouse to do either. Like, either refrain from or participate in. Always have a conversation first, which is like where that was kind of for me, where I need to be like more open to things that he wants to do. Try to share the cost of your hotel stays with because like
Yeah.
if I've gone somewhere with one of my friends with benefits, like we split the cost, like I told you. Anyway, date night with your spouse at least once a week. Try to add a new toy or a new position once a month into your spouse's sex life.
Oh.
Is that hard to check that box once a month?
It is hard.
Finding something new.
It is hard. I have a whole, I call it my slut bag. I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
My little slut bag, like, where I will go and, like, if I'm going to go buy lingerie, like, I will buy something that I think looks fun, like the edible body paint, or like the restraints, or, a new toy for him. Like, I bought this prostate toy because I'm like, I think you might like it, just based on things we've been doing. I'm thinking you might like it. And he's like, I don't want anything in my butt. And I'm like, but you might like it. And he's like, I gotta ease into that. So it's like, I'm like, okay, and I'll just leave it on the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, you want to try that? Come on. Have monthly, or at least, I would like weekly, but maybe monthly check-ins to see, like, if everybody's okay with everything that's going on. Don't allow PDA in front of your spouse. Like, I had to put that in there for me. I'm like, I can't do it.